in Nebraska. The boys, brutal. And then Dublin, Ireland this past weekend against Northwestern. This is where this is tough. We've talked about this, I think, like in January, where I said that Nebraska was the best worst team in college football. They went 3-9 last year, and it could have easily been a 9-3 type of season. They just lost a lot of close ones. I want to say they went 3-9 last year, and one of those 3 wins was against Northwestern by like 40 plus. And so to come in, I actually saw a TikTok yesterday from Bustin' with the Boys, this is a Nebraska boy, the co-host, where he had Nebraska going like 11-1, like hadn't beaten Ohio State and Michigan and like losing like a one-off game. And he had a reason to believe that. I mean, you win this game. The next 2 were basically Florida State type of competitors, where it was just an online school. And then I want to say the 4th game was against Michigan. But again, now the momentum's in the right direction. Like, hey, boys, we're 3-0. You can win. You are a talented enough team to win this game. And so I saw where he was coming from. Look, Nebraska season's not over, but that's a tough loss. Frost is going to be definitely on the chopping block. Does he make it through the season, Steve? Is this a Mullen-esque type of situation where he doesn't battle through this? I mean, you've got some stats there. I'm going to plug my computer in so it doesn't die on us. I know you've got like his history of wins and losses and how he kind of brought UCF to what it was and how he was supposed to be the Florida guy, Florida's coach. We went with Mullen. Let's get into that, why I plug this in. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. So look, I think a lot of Florida fans may forget that in the time that Florida was looking for a head coach, Scott Frost was there. He was interviewed by Florida, and he was, from what I could remember, the pick that a lot of Florida fans wanted to bring to Florida, University of Florida University, if you're an FSU fan. But look, he opted to go to his alma mater, so he goes out to Nebraska. And look, It seems like it was a great decision. It felt great for Nebraska. It felt great for Scott Frost. But since then, it has not been a good mix. One of the things that I think they're dealing with out there is their transition to the Big Ten. They don't play football games in Texas anymore. They used to be, down in, Texas, Oklahoma, the states that really can produce a ton of talent that aren't being soaked up by the in-house university. So look, just he came in. It's not been a very, very strong showing. There's been some really ugly games as a whole. I want to say back in 2018, I'm just going to go through a couple of these things. Troy beat them 24-19 back in 2018. Colorado was a horrible team at the time. In 2001, beat them 62-36. Missouri beat them by double digits. But so here we are. Scott Frost last year has basically acknowledged that he is not a very, very good football coach. And he has taken a pay cut. He took a cut in his base salary and took a cut in if the University of Nebraska decides to fire him, the payout that he gets. So it's almost like both the coach and the university are on the cusp here of understanding this whole beautiful relationship of me coming back to my alma mater is simply not going well. And then, just yesterday, we have I don't even know how to describe it. So you've got Nebraska up 28-17 in the third quarter. For some odd reason, they opt to kick an onside kick after a touchdown. They've been playing good football. They've been playing well from the beginning of the game, and
with a lead, correct?
28-17. They were ahead.
So here's
kicking away. And
Yes.
they went with an onside kick, which turned into a almost instant touchdown for Nebraska or for Northwestern.
So there's a two parts to this, because with the lead, that's where the concerning part, because like you said, statistically, you don't land those, right? But he hits that, right? He gets that. He kind of it's one of those things where you catch the other team off guard. He gets it. Nebraska recovers. Nebraska controls the ball, gets a field goal or scores a touchdown. He looks like a genius. Looks like Scott Frost is dialed in this year. He's here to win football games. Nobody's questioning anything. So one of those plays, a play like that, it's tough because it's a gamble. The question is, was it the right time to do it? And look, it's 2017, basically a two-score game with a field goal and a touchdown. Was it necessary to do it? No. And maybe it kind of sold. Look, to me, it sells like, look, I'm confident in our defense that, look, even if we don't get the ball back, we're still going to stop them. So, yes, it's easy to point at that and say that was a dumb move. But I could see the alternative of like, look, it's a bounce away from being a genius move, and we're having a completely different conversation of like Nebraska's got a gym on their hand and they can literally have an undefeated season. And this college playoff prediction that we're having, Nebraska could be not realistically, but again, Nebraska was the worst best team in college football last year. If you go back and look at it, they had a solid team. And I think everyone expected that team to carry over and be a dominant powerhouse and back to the old days of Nebraska, which is we haven't seen in a very long time. Look, if there's a team that I had to pick that I would like to see do well, it would be Nebraska. It just to see what it's like to live back in those days of when Nebraska was just you went through Nebraska to play for a natty. So it's been a very long time, and I think this is he's got to win some football games, big dog. He has got a tough road. Let's pull it up really quick here. Look, obviously this isn't Gator Talk, but it's always fun. I mean, everyone knows who this is, and college football, baby. It's college football, baby. We're back. It's week 0. We got to talk about it. North Dakota, obviously and again, this was what sucks about it. It was a neutral site. I mean, you're playing in Dublin, Ireland. Like you can't. That's unacceptable. North Dakota W, Georgia Southern. They play Oklahoma. In Nebraska, in Oklahoma was that 4th game. So that's where he was saying, like, look, they could pull off that W against Oklahoma, and I fully believe you catch Oklahoma at a time where they're transitioning head coaches and quarterbacks, yeah, you could pull that W off. I've seen Oklahoma lose worse. So now you're 4-0 when he was looking at it. Nebraska's a top 25 team immediately. But now he's fighting an uphill battle here. North Dakota, Georgia Southern, he's 2-1. Oklahoma's going to be the game that saves his career. It could be the resurgence of Scott Frost, or it could be the end of Scott Frost, in my opinion. If they go into Nebraska and lose that massive game at noon, that's going to be an exciting weekend. That could be the end of it. He wins there. Then you got Indiana, Rutgers. Now you're on a little bit of a run. Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota. You can get on an absolute...
Talk about a terrible schedule, though. Like, my gosh.
Like easy-wise, or just like...
easy-wise. Like Northwestern, North Dakota, Georgia Southern, Oklahoma. Okay. Indiana, Rutgers,
Purdue,
Illinois, Minnesota. I like Minnesota. I think they got
the last three games. The last 3 games though gets buck nasty, so I can't really say too much. So then it goes. But look. If they win. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8-1. The whole season flips. So if that's the case, then this whole conversation is a waste. And Scott Frost he's cold as ice, right? He's like Matty Ice. He's Scotty Ice. He's back on the run. Even if they lose to Michigan, but now you go into Michigan. Hey, we are here to win this game. Then Wisconsin and Nebraska, and then finishing with Iowa. It's not over by any stretch of the imagination, but that Oklahoma to me is going to be the deciding factor. You lose Oklahoma, you're 2-2. The energy's out of the room. I could see you losing to a Purdue, or like losing that Rutgers game, just because that's just how that kind of pans out. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I wish the nothing but the best to old Frosted Tips there.